What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today I want to get into some basketball. Today I want to talk about the Chicago Bulls, personally my favorite team. I've been hoping for so many seasons, man. I've been hoping that the Chicago Bulls could be good or make the playoffs, and this year I'm just hoping that we can be a playoff team this year, because if we don't, it just seems like we're going to have to maybe blow up this team. Something has to happen, but it looks like the executives, the coaching staff, everyone's on board. Everyone feels like this is the team heading into this year's NBA season. Everybody feels like this is enough to win. So hopefully we can get a lot of wins this year to make the postseason. But one player I want to talk about today is Patrick Williams. This is a guy that I think a lot of Bull fans are keeping their eyes out on, because we truly believe that he can be, the third best player on this team. Given the minutes, this team definitely trusts him. And I think right now, if we had to describe Patrick Williams, he's a 3-and-D player. I think that's his role on Chicago. Looking at his stats, he has shot 41.5% from three from last season. So he is a reliable three-point shooter. And like I mentioned, this guy is 6'8", long arms. He's athletic as well, and he can also get to the basket. So, that's why I think he's just such a freak athlete. And I can see why the Bulls selected him back in 2020 with the 4th overall pick, because of his upside and the way he can shoot the ball. And just to go with his athleticism, this guy can be pretty special. But, given the minutes, like I mentioned, he's pretty much been given a lot of minutes since he's been entered into the league. This guy, his rookie year, he averaged 27.9 minutes. The year after that, it kind of slowed down a little bit, but 24.8 minutes. But then last season, guys, he played 82 games, so he was very healthy. He only averaged 10.2 points per game. He shot 46.4 from the field, and like I mentioned, from the three-point range, he shot 41.5%. One thing that I will say about Patrick Williams, as far as what can he improve on, and not even improve on, but what I would like to see is Patrick Williams has not averaged over 5 rebounds throughout his first 3 years in Chicago. I think that's something that I don't want to say like he's not putting effort or anything like that, but I would really like to see him crash the boards. I would really like to see him a little bit more in the paint area. I would really like to see him kind of help with rebounding. And just defensively, this guy is a really good defender. That was pretty much his task last year in Chicago, because when you look at the numbers, him averaging 28 points, he only averaged 10 points. So it just seems like he was more on the court to defend and guard more than be aggressive in scoring. But I think this season, I think that should go up to 16 points this year. I think Patrick Williams should average between 16 points, and even rebounding. I think his rebounding could at least get to 6 rebounds, 5 rebounds per game. I think that's things that he could improve on. And just his aggressiveness. I know he spoke to the media. He kind of spoke about in his early career it was kind of hard playing alongside LaVine, and last year with DeMar DeRozan, because there's such good stars that can score the ball. He was kind of saying it was kind of hard to be on the floor with them on the court and contribute scoring. So he was a little bit of a tweener in his first 3 years in Chicago. But offensively, guys, I think this is the year where Patrick Williams can be a breakout player. I do think he can be the third best player on this team. Like I mentioned before, because the way he can shoot the ball, I think he's a really good shooter. And with his athleticism, he can drive and slash to the rim. Because of his handle, he doesn't have, really good handle. He doesn't really have a crossover game, or nowadays we say he don't really got a bag. The younger generation, he doesn't really have a bag or arsenal. But he definitely, he definitely is an athletic player that can get to the rim. And if he can just work on his handle where he can dribble drive to the rim, I think that's going to improve his numbers, where he's going to get a lot more points. But overall, guys, I think Patrick Williams is a player that a lot of us is scoping out for. And like I mentioned before, he was the 4th pick in 2020. So I'm looking at, Patrick Williams has to be a special player, because there were so many players on the board back in 2020 that we could have gotten. I'm looking at Isaac Okoro. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Obi Toppin. I'm looking at who are some other, Tyrese Maxey. He was drafted by the Sixers with the 21st pick. There was Emmanuel Quickly. I like Peyton Pritchardson. These are some good players that we could have. I see Desmond Baines. He was part of that draft class. So there were a couple good talented players that we could have went after. But with Patrick Williams, I still think that he can live up to the expectations. Overall, I think he's trending in the right direction. You know, we hear about the workout videos with DeMar DeRozan waking up at 2 in the morning, doing workouts, putting up shots, because you can see the hard work. You know, he's a really good, you know, shooter. I really, you know, give that to Patrick Williams. You know, the way he's developed his 3-point shooting this early in his stage of his career is good. Because again, for some players, once you take away their jump shooting and they don't have the ability to drive and get to the lane, they're a non-factor. But one thing about Patrick Williams is, you know, if defenders play real good on him or could close out on him at the 3-point line, forcing him to drive, Patrick Williams has the ability to drive to the rim and, you know, and dunk on you at that because of his athleticism. So I do think that, you know, Patrick Williams is going to be a really good player for the Chicago Bulls, and I'm predicting that this is going to be his breakout year. But like I said, you know, him averaging 10 points, I definitely think that's going to skyrocket. I think he's probably going to be averaging around 16 points. And I would like to see him kind of crash the boards more, even though I know it's hard for him to grab rebounds because he is playing, you know, at the perimeter. So I know he's not really, I know he's not going to be in the paint as much to really get a lot of rebounds, but I really would like to see him crash the boards more. And I would like to see him be more aggressive and just playing alongside Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. You know, just be more aggressive. And I know that confidence is going to build. And it just seems like his confidence build, you know, every year after the offseason because of the training with, you know, DeMar DeRozan, and a lot of time he does put into his jump shooting. But for you Bulls fans, I don't want to make this video too long, but how do you guys feel about Patrick Williams? I could be missing something, but, you know, as of right now, if we had to establish what his game is, he's a 3-and-D caliber player right now. Some people say he has a lot more potential, he can do more, but I think what he does for Chicago works. I just think he just needs to be more aggressive, slash into the rim, get into the bucket, and a lot of that can just be with just working on his handle, working on his driving ability, and he should be fine, guys. So with that being said, guys, for you Chicago fans, how do you guys feel about Patrick Williams, and how good you think the Bulls is going to be this season, and do you think we're a playoff team? Do you think we have enough to make the playoffs? So I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm definitely going to talk some more Chicago Bulls, but this is just more of an intro kind of video. Right now we're heading into the preseason, so right before the season starts, I'll do a lot of predictions. I'll do a lot of updates for you guys. So until next time, have a good day, stay safe, and God bless.